I first read the script. Drew Goddard, who wrote the script, was going to direct the movie, and I read it, and I just I just really loved it. I hadn't read the book. I'd missed it when it kind of came out and caused this little sensation. But I just thought the script was such a great kind of original story, and there aren't a lot of original stories getting made nowadays into film. So I really I wanted to do it, and then Drew found himself on another project, and so it kind of floundered a little bit, and then I got a call that Ridley Scott wanted to direct it. So obviously that was the end of my deliberations. I just said yes. Well, I play a guy named Mark Watney. He's an astronaut. He's a botanist, actually. That's his specialty, and he's one of 5 people on this Aries mission to Mars who are conducting research and experiments. This takes place in the very near future. They're going to go. They're going to spend about a little over a month there, and try to learn more about Mars as a potential, a colony someday. So he's there with his team, and this kind of freak weather event occurs, and they all get separated. He gets impaled by the antenna, the communications antenna, rips off and sticks into him, but then tears through his biomonitor. So all of his teammates are seeing that he's got no signs of life. They have reason to believe that he's dead. They have to get out right away, or else the MAV that they're going to take off in is going to tip, and so they basically call the mission. They scrub the mission and leave. They think their dead comrade on Mars, only to find out later that he actually survives. So now Mark Watney is alone on Mars, and the story really follows this guy's kind of quest to survive through all this kind of ingenuity and science. And when I talked to Drew, who wrote the script, he called it a love letter to science. That's how he felt about it. It's Andy Weir, who wrote the book, really did a lot of research on would it actually be possible for a human being to survive on Mars, and he claims that every single thing is completely scientifically backed up. So that's what we're going with. As he takes inventory of and takes stock of his situation, he realizes a few things. One, this habitat he's living in is designed to last for 31 days, basically, and he's going to have to live in there for at least over a year, because just the trajectory to get a rescue mission to him, that's just how long it would take. That's if he can even communicate with people back on Earth to let them know that he's alive. Obviously, the other things, the pressing issues for him, are water and food. So he's got to have an atmosphere he can live in, and he's got to have enough food to survive, and he's got to have enough water so he doesn't die of thirst. So those are the problems that he starts working on right away. Back on Earth, they realize after a while, oh my goodness, he's alive. We've got a guy stranded on Mars, and so it's this Herculean effort mounted by basically everybody on Earth, led by NASA and the Jet Propulsion Lab, to figure out a way to save this guy. And so all of this drama, it's intercut between Mark's experience on Mars by himself and everybody kind of coming together on Earth to try to figure out a way to save him. It's this great group of actors. It's Jeff Daniels and Sean Bean and a whole group of really terrific actors. In fact, they had wrapped about 54 actors, I think, by the time we even showed up to start doing this section of the movie. So it's like these 3 separate movies. The third one being Jessica Chastain and the whole team that has left Mars. They realize that they've left me behind. They get word from planet Earth that, oh God, Mark's alive. So it's their whole drama of and how they end up factoring into the rescue. So it's these 3 kind of very separate but very connected storylines. Jessica's side, I mean, her character goes through this. It's basically the worst thing you could do as a commanding officer is leave somebody in a situation like that. And although she is incredibly, her character is incredibly fast thinking, and in this kind of freak weather situation, she she actually saves the rest of her crew, and she does everything she possibly could have to save my character. You know, she still is living with the fact that she left a man behind, and that is really, you know, that's kind of encoded in somebody who's meant to lead. It's like encoded in their DNA that they could never ever possibly do that. That's the worst thing that could happen. Jessica's amazing. I have always wanted to work with her, and we only have a few brief scenes together in the movie. You know, there are flashbacks and such, but no, we were really excited that we got her, and really because it's almost impossible to get her in a movie because she does about 16 movies a year. So if you could actually get on her schedule, it's kind of an accomplishment. I do really like the character. I love his ingenuity, and I love the idea that the movie celebrates, as Drew said. He said it's a love letter to science, but I do love that it celebrates intelligence, you know, and that spirit of courage that these guys really have. These astronauts who do this are not only incredibly brave, but they're really smart people. Ridley just, you know, the scale at which he works, and you know, he can bring in 4 cameras, and each one is absolutely, the frame is, you'd think he was shooting these one shot at a time. He's just got that ability. I mean, I remember with Spielberg on Saving Private Ryan, it was the same thing. You'd look at each frame and go, my God, that's beautiful. You know, it would take me all day to sit there and figure that one out, but these guys, you know, at that level, they can just, you know, make these beautiful graphic shots that are horrifying. I mean, you know, that storm is really terrifying. You know, and I could see just in the design that there's going to be this building panic in the audiences. Janty turned up at my house a few months before we shot with all of these designs, and I have to say the suit is exactly as she designed it, and I loved it when she showed it to me in drawings, and I love the way it came out. It's really pretty comfortable, actually, given that it's skin tight, and it's you know, and you got a lot of different bits and bobs on it, so it's fun to work with master directors who've been doing this a really long time, who know what they want. You know, so there's not even a favorite scene I have. It's just every day is fun. We laugh a lot. We get our work done. We get our work done relatively quickly. Everyone's prepared. It's how you should make movies. I don't know. My hopes are that people respond to it the way we all responded to the script when we read it. You know, it feels like, you know, every day we finish our work day and we look at each other and go, I think we got everything we needed today, and so it feels like we're on the right path. But ultimately, it's about, do people want to go on that journey with that character? You know, do they want to be marooned on Mars with Mark Watney? And hopefully the answer is yes.